Hi everybody, I'm Friends of the Friends Experience. If you'd like to tune in and follow us and see what's going on, please do so at www.thefranzexperience.life, where we believe you are definitely bumped on course. Right now, as you can see, we're ready to ball in this thing called life. And I'm wearing my late and great legendary Mamba, representing Kobe Bryant, a giant that was here in Pennsylvania, a native of PA. And just to say, you will be missed. His legacy will go on for many years. But like Kobe, in the space of basketball, we lost another giant, another baller. In the space of business, the late and great Earl Harvey, you will be missed. He was the publisher of the Black Professional News. He bridged the gap between the diversity and inclusion in the space of business for many of us. I myself, he had taken me in under his wing and showed me the ropes of business in many aspects. Not only was he an advocate for Black professionals, he was an advocate for all. He definitely will be missed, the late and great Earl Harvey. I just ask that we can take a moment, close our eyes for a moment, and dedicate a moment of silence to the late and great Earl Harvey and many like him. Thank you. So often we have our giants in the space of business, and sometimes we don't know what's happened to them, but they quietly move on. I just want to make sure that we take the time to embrace these legends, the game changers in our world. So thank you. I also wanted to talk a little bit about bumped, all right? Many of you have heard and are actually going to partake in the Bumped on Course Challenge, but I'd like to tell you how it actually got started, okay? So back in August of 2016, I was in an auto accident. My family and I, we were in an auto accident, and I took the, let's just say, I took the hardest of it, and it was tough to try and overcome it. I had suffered from post-concussion syndrome, ended up later having to have knee surgery, and all of this occurred while I'm in the prime of my career, training for a marathon with a neighbor of mine. Son's going to a new school, daughter's in college, I have 2 businesses I'm working on, and everything was great until everything was bumped. Bumped by accident. And when I say bumped by accident, I was in an accident. And I had someone ask me, this question changed my life. It was a game changer for me. Do you think you were bumped by accident or bumped on course? Whoa. Talk about mind-blowing questions. And the more I thought about it, I could say I was definitely bumped on course. All the obstacles that I've overcome over the years, whether or not it was traumatic, family dynamic changes, even growing up and dealing with some traumatic circumstances, losing my father at 13, all you know is you want to make it, you know? You feel that you don't want to be a statistic. You have a goal. You want to be bigger. You want to be better. And as I got older, I realized I myself want to have a legacy. I want people to remember who I am. I want them to know that I was here. So I hope through this show, through the Friends experience, I'm sharing with you a part of my why I do this. I feel that everything that I've overcome and that I continue to experience is not just for me. It's a greater purpose. It's to share it, to help others heal, to be supportive, to be an advocate. This book is called Bumped, and it's actually by Frances McDaniel, who I was, and who I am is Frances Waitman. I go by Franz. That's right, it's copyright, that's my name. You know, it's Franz, basically. That's what it is. But if you were to look this up, it's on Amazon. You can look it up at our local bookstores. You can download it on Kindle. You know, I even thought about doing the audio. It was, you know, but I couldn't think if I wanted to do it myself and, you know, do it in, you know, Barack voice or something like that and say, you know, this is France, and there's a bump that occurs in life, and for me, it was one I wish I could remember, you know. Accidents occur by the second, and in one split second, I became one of those statistics. I kept a journal of being bumped the summer of August 2016 with the hopes of remembering what would happen to me. My new journey of recovering from post-concussion syndrome would allow me to put all this in a book, shed a few tears, and relive my experiences as if it were the first time I experienced it, you know? And that's me, Rock, over and out. You know, that would be nice to get him to do that, to redo my book in Barack's voice, or maybe Chris Tucker. I've been bumped by accident, man. Something like that, you know. But what I do know is that I like to have fun. And I'm fortunate to be here and to share my story with you through the Friends experience. One of the things that I'm sharing not only is just this book, is our experiences become us, and they help us uncover new passions in life. Since the bump, since the concussion, I've healed fairly well. It was tough. It was very tough. I actually had to learn how to speak again. And then I also had to learn how to come back around friends. I had to learn cognitive skill sets, do things like Sudoku, rebuild, and work on me. So it wasn't easy, but I had the support of family and friends that never told me no. I was training at the time for a marathon, and I had a neighbor, beautiful soul, and we were training together. It's not like you can just pick up and find a partner to run a marathon with you, like, oh, okay, yeah, let's go run 10 miles this morning. Hey, what you doing? Can you run 10 miles with me at 4:30 in the morning? No, it wasn't that easy. I felt like I had let her down. And she was really supportive. Later, she still ran her full marathon, but I was there at the finish line volunteering to put a medal around her neck for a well-deserved accomplishment. There's going to be some bumps in life that are going to occur. What they do is they just pretty much redefine and mold you into who you're going to be. I believe that that's what God did for me. He has helped me along my journey, and He's made the path very clear, very clear. I was fortunate to write down, after seeing a doctor, I was fortunate to write down everything that had occurred to me. She says, hey, look, just write down whatever it is that you're experiencing it, and put the date on it. So anything from napkins, envelopes from mail, cell phone, tablet, it didn't matter. I wrote it down. And everything was put in order by date. And I had a lot of help from my children and friends, local and from India. It's a beautiful soul in India who I met when I was a keynote speaker there. And we spoke for hours. And we continuously followed up with each other and just had some great conversations. And I don't know why, but I didn't know she was a publisher. But I knew that she would be the one to edit and help me with my book. It was so near and dear to me. I had already started another book called Johnny's Journeys. It's a children's book in which she actually has. I got to follow with her with that one. I actually stopped writing that so I can write Bumped. And the reason why I wrote Bumped was because the more I found out about concussions, post-concussion syndrome, I said, people need to know. Because there's a fact that many who suffer from a concussion or post-concussion syndrome have experienced short-term memory loss, and they might not remember what's happened to them, which, in my case, the same thing occurred. This book helped me remember what occurred to me. Yeah, it was pretty tough to read this for the first time. I read this, I was like, what the heck is this? It's about me. Of course, I've created some characters, and there's some things that's a little extra, added in, some fillers here. But for the most part, it's pretty much on point. In here, there's information in regards to different types of headaches, what you can do about them. I'm not a doctor, but I'm a survivor. And since this, I've advocated with Miles for Migraine, University of Penn, Mind Your Brain, and families, friends who need the support. I've been fortunate to help. That's why I say I've been bumped on course. Because without the experience, that passion, I would have cared. I always do care. But that passion to help individuals, it wouldn't have been the same. I had to experience it. So, with that being said, that's how Bumped came about. And that's how now I feel that I've definitely been bumped on course. Man, and I'm not talking about the everyday concussion in sports. No. What I'm talking about is that person that's getting out of the car and they bump their head, getting out, and they just, ooh, that hurt. Rub their head and think nothing of it. But then they have a headache and they don't pay attention to the symptoms or changes in their behavior, the demeanor. Those are the individuals I'm speaking of. The car accidents. There's millions of individuals who suffer from concussions due to auto accidents. There's a lot of death too, but there's more of us in a professional space that have been injured due to some unforeseen circumstance, whether or not it's a fall off of a bike ride, bumping your head on the dining room table after trying to pick something up off the floor. And some of these things leave long-term effects on us. But what we have to do is get it checked out. Please. If you notice, now this book is good. It's not necessarily good for those individuals who are actually going through a concussion. This book is good for those individuals who are surrounding them. Because this doesn't mean that everything that they go through is everything in this book. Some people don't experience any type of change or symptoms of a concussion. And then there are some who've suffered traumatic brain injuries to the point where they're no longer with us. And God be with those families. And then there's individuals like me who've had to take and do therapy and stand in front of a mirror and say apple, banana, tiger, orange, this, that, and practice over and over again until we are able to regain our speech and even cognitive skill sets. I'll say it hasn't changed my comedy